right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the daily money market. My name is Che Yusuf. It's another week in terms of checking out what's the market is happening, and again, what is been happening. It's been a fantastic week. It's been fantastic these 2 weeks. The major talking point, I think, when it comes from last week up to now, it should be a Donald Trump inauguration as a president of the United States. So we saw that the inauguration of Donald Trump as a president of the United States, and through him being inaugurated, there's a lot of things that we saw in terms of Bitcoin. Spiking up. We are anticipated that it might go to 110, but it hasn't get to there yet. It get to 109, 108, and then reverse it back to 99,000, and then it trying to get back to 110, if I may look at it. So that's Bitcoin. And if you were there, I mean, in terms of watching Donald Trump inauguration, you could be able to witness yourself because Elon Musk was there. The big guns was there. The CEO or the founder of Facebook was there. Mark Zuckerberg. The CEO of OpenAI was there as well. So there was all these guys that are actually contributing in terms of AI and technology, and as well as the cryptocurrency itself. The same day that Donald Trump was actually, inaugurated, the wife of Donald Trump, Melania, has actually launched the crypto coin called Melania coin. So that just giving a little bit of stability or strong idea to say that Bitcoin should be give us a little bit of a bullish movement. But that's what, when it comes to Bitcoin, it actually rose a little bit back again, but not that much. We're anticipating it might gain again. Bitcoin back to maybe 110 and break it to 120. The same week, there was Davos. Davos is one of the biggest economic events where different leaders from different regions, they go and talk and communicate about finance, about economics, and how they're gonna drive economy for that following period of calendar, or whether we can say for that a quarter of that specific year. So Davos was rolling. So Davos was rolling last week, and a lot of things, including Donald Trump. He spoke again on a Davos meeting. That was really interesting. So it's been so many news, so many talks that we see. Again, Donald Trump raising up the tariff, to countries like Canada, Mexico, and there's another one, the third one, that this actually, put the tariff in terms of the production of products that are being produced from those specific areas. The reason why is because of these are neighboring countries of the United States. So he feels like these guys, they just go to US, jump the border and immigrate, get in the US and start, taking advantage of things that are in the US. So that's why there's a little bit of tariff that is being imposed. So speaking of tariff, after Donald Trump raised up all these talks about the tariff, the Chinese as well has raised up the talks about the tariff as well. They will also impose the tariff. But the biggest one that happened the last week coming to this week, it's when we see a lot of technology companies falling in the stock market. I mean, a DeepSeek seen as a potential risk to sky high as a US tech valuation goes down. So the valuation of US tech, it actually wiped out Nvidia. Remember the Magnificent Seven, if you remember. There's a lot of videos that I've done about the Magnificent Seven. If you can go and check it out and see which one it's Magnificent Seven. And Magnificent Seven, number one of Magnificent Seven is Nvidia. That means it's the biggest company that is part of the technology companies. It's number one in terms of the market cap and in terms as well of how much it retains that these guys they bring. And is the biggest companies that get affected from last week to this week to coming to this week because of a DeepSeek on a potential of risk to sky height of US tech valuation. So they actually Magnificent Seven. I mean, Magnificent Seven Nvidia. They actually lose over 40 billion, and they are estimated it's been over 30 years since they lose that. But again, if you look at it since last year, how Magnificent Seven was growing, including the Magnificent One, Nvidia was growing. It was growing on a daily basis. Every single day, there was a time Nvidia was making over, 200% growth in a day on a stock market. So right now, it's just reversing it back so that we can see the price is starting back again. And again, we saw instrument like NAS 100 and S&P 500 really having a knock yesterday, as well as by the end of Friday. And that knock, it turns this week to start now. S&P 500 and Nasdaq to start collecting. Right now, the market is showing that S&P 500 is sitting at 6,057, 10.75, 1.75 growth in a stock market. But again, Simisage, the principle of asset management, says to while the secure trade upwards of the Magnificent Seven should persist over the wrong line. Their expensive valuation coupled with the evaluation bond yield simply. All right, so simply is because of the valuation of the Magnificent Seven itself. If you look at it, the price of the Magnificent Seven, the price of Nvidia itself in the past 5 months or 6 months on or 10 months, how it jumped from where it is to where it was before the DeepSeek happened, you realize that it's been really a big margin. You look at Tesla itself, the price of Tesla is very expensive. That's why a lot of people, they are not even trying to participate in Tesla or trying to buy Tesla itself, because the cars as well, they are expensive. You look at the price of Microsoft, the price of Apple having some scandal in India. Apple was betting that India is going to be their new venture in terms of getting a lot of people of using the Apple, getting a lot of sales in India. But crises are happening in India, and again they're having a little bit of challenge. But the stock price of Apple itself, for you and me to actually just trade it with $100 or $200 is not going to cut it. Needs a little bit of more money for us to be able to trade those type of instruments. So that's what it says, that the asset management, it says that the valuation of this coupled with the elevated bond, they are very high, and that is why the DeepSeek having the crisis there, and to see all the bond yield and the stock pushes the price all the way down. So that's again what has been happening in a global market. But again, just jumping in on a Donald Trump after he come again, we're seeing the story that is coming that Donald Trump and Israel would want to actually send a bomb to Iran to bomb those nuclear facilities. And recently, we just saw the Iran Prime Minister, the Iran Ambassador of the United States, explaining that if that thing had happened, it's gonna have really a big question. I thought about that because of now there's a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, then it's a calling of everywhere in the Middle East, right? Because of the tension that happened in the Middle East, it affects all of us globally because of oil. So we saw the price of oil right now. If we go, let me just go and check it out, WTI. Maybe we'll see the price of oil at the moment. Okay. So looks like the price of WTI is far. I'm trying to see where can I get these stocks. stock currency pairs, and maybe if I do show all, it's already on show all. Okay, maybe we should check what's the price of UK oil, which is the Brent oil. All right, sitting at $76.60 per barrel. $76.60 per barrel is better when it comes to $76.60 per barrel than the price all the way to get to for example to $80 per barrel or to $90 per barrel. And again, where it's actually coming from this month, it's coming from $80 per barrel on the 17th January. So the cooling of Hamas and Israel war coming up with the ceasefire, it makes the price of oil to reduce a little bit. But again, if there's another threat that they're gonna be a retaliation in terms of Iran, that's where they're gonna have a little bit of a challenge. Nvidia gaining at the moment since the loss that happened from the beginning of this week, Monday and Friday. Right now, Nvidia is sitting at $124, 1.42% growth when it comes to growth in the stock market. So that's how tech is looking. That's how the market in terms of the technology and the other stories that will affect us. But again, we're talking about the Iran and the threat that they're getting from United States and as well as Israel to bomb their nuclear facility. That will affect us when it comes to oil. We don't want to see the oil to go all the way to $80 a barrel, to go to all the way to $100 per barrel, or even to go to all the way to $90 per barrel. What will happen on that? The price of food in the basket will be very, very expensive. And if the price of food in a basket, which is the consumer price index, it's what us as a consumer spending, that index of it, when it comes out, it will show that it is lacking than the estimation numbers. And what will happen? Those data, it's actually transferred all the way to Federal Reserve of that specific country. For here in South Africa, it will transfer all the way to the Reserve Bank, and the governor, the Sesha Khanyago, will make the decision based on the interest rate of that specific period or specific month. So think about when the oil is high, interest rate is supposed to go high because the price of food is going to go high, and then the data of consumer price index, CPI, and the producer price index, who are producing that product for you and me to actually feed ourselves, it will be really, really expensive. And those data, they go to Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, they'll make the decision about the repo rate, the interest rate. Then the next time you hear that the interest rate has been increased with the 25 basis points, what it means again is that while the price of the product are high because of the oil, but there will be another 25 basis points as increase, right? Again, if they want to ease it up in terms of the price of the product in a basket, that means they have to cut the interest rate. Once they have to cut the interest rate, then they have to borrow the money, the deficit from somewhere, to put it back on where they are cutting the price for everyone to be able to afford. So it's very, very worrying when it comes to that. And I truly believe that it should be the end about the conflict, especially in the Middle East. It's been a while, even Ukraine and Russia, so that we can get our wheat and we can be able to enjoy. So keep tuning in. My name is Che Yusuf. We're still on the Daily Money Market. this is how the market is looking at the moment. Remember, we were talking about oil. We're looking at UK oil as well, which is called the Brent oil as well. Look, it's sitting at $76.77 per barrel at the moment. And again, regarding this, the retaliation, you can already see that there's a bullish movement trying to cover this gap. At least the market cap can get to 78, maybe to 78, 86 cents, 78 to 86 cents. But the story that is coming currently, it's not really, showing the positivity. Again, all the techs, they are gaining the momentum. Apple, 0.43% growth at the moment. The dollar index itself, it's gaining with the 0.61% at the moment. In that way, if the dollar index is getting to that position, then it might make sense for us to look into the safe haven of the dollar index, which is gold. All right. Gold sitting at 2,746 at the moment. My anticipation is that, again, it's been really performing very strange because we thought because of, dollar is going to gain a little bit of strength, but then a dollar gold as a safe haven is going to now starting to decline. But we saw that the dollar index itself was not gaining that much stronger. That is why gold itself was not falling as we predicted. But right now, showing a little bit of positivity in terms of gold, but I still predict or anticipating that maybe, let's see, maybe all right. Maybe it might bullish a little bit recover to 2,772, 2,772, and then until the dollar index at least gained from 1.50 above, 1.5% above. That's where we're seeing the stronger signal of the gold itself to start declining. Speaking of that, we spoke about S&P 500, 6,028, uh, really formed gap. It's a dipstick that happened to all the tech and actually pushed the price of S&P 500 to 5,929. My highly anticipation is S&P 500 is to go back to where it was, in fact, to recover the gap that formed on Friday to push the price all the way down. It has to recover this gap. So I'm anticipating again this week to push the price all the way to 6,124, 6,124 when it comes to S&P 500. NAS 100, biggest take as well. It has the same movement. Again, it has gained already right now with the 1.42% in terms of in a stock market, but there's still a gap that has been formed at a price of 21,626. So we are really anticipating that the push up price, it will happen this week before the end of the week on Friday. Again, there's a Federal Reserve speaking. Let me just see when the Feds speaking, because once the Feds are actually speaking, that is where we this week. Okay. So when it comes to when the news of the big Feds speaking this Tuesday, CB consumer confidence 5 p.m. from US, Australian dollar Wednesday is coming with the CPI. Bank of England, the governor speaking, Bank of Canada monetary policy, all of them it's on Wednesday. Forex statement again on Wednesday 9 p.m. Federal Reserve fund rate on Wednesday. So the Forex press conference it's on Wednesday all the way to Thursday, an employment claim, and again, German CPI on Friday, GDP from Canada on Friday, and employment cost index as well on Friday from United States. But we were looking at the market. So, Forex is coming on Wednesday. That's why we're anticipating the format member. If you think about how consumer price index, producer price index, and the first NFP of the year, it hasn't been really performing that perfect. And then entering of Donald Trump. Again, Donald Trump spoke last week. It says he's going to speak with the Federal Reserve President Jeremy Powell about the interest rate, the reduce of the interest rate, but they haven't had that meeting yet. What are we anticipating on Wednesday? Is it a drop when it comes to the interest rate in terms of the cut? But I'm not quite sure. I think they're going to continue with the cut, or highly possibly to put the interest rate on a hold for this month, just to wait to see the cabinet Donald Trump how he's going to perform and how they're going to go on with their meeting with the president of Reserve, Jeremy Powell. Looking at Bitcoin, don't tell me Bitcoin has spiked like that. Now we're talking about Bitcoin reversing to 98,000, right? 98,000, which was 27 yesterday on Monday. From today, Bitcoin has spiking to 98,000 to 127,000. 127,000, guys. This is really a huge move. I really anticipating to get to even to 150. It's highly close Bitcoin to get to 150. It's breaking the record again, back to 127,000. We said it that is going to get to 110. It actually surpassed 110 yesterday night to today. Today was sitting at 116,000. It pushes all the way to 127. I think it's going to one. Hey, is Bitcoin going to 150? It might get to 150 thousand even by the end of the week. So, right, that's how the market is looking at the particular time. All right, man. Thank you very much for actually be with us and to watch the video with us at the daily money market. We do appreciate it. Please keep watching the video and please keep subscribing as well. There's a lot of videos that has a little bit of market information that can give you a little bit of information about the market and how the market is going. I mean, the biggest story right now for this week that we can talk, it's Bitcoin, the advancing of Bitcoin to get all the way to 127,000. That we are anticipating and preparing that it might get to 150,000 by the end of this week. That's really bullish. That's really a big move. Or the tech instrument again, they start getting back a little bit to normally. Again, they always say that the model looks fantastic, but we don't think there are miracles. And the results is traveling, panicking over the weekend. The weekend seems the overblown. So that's what has been happening in the market. Thank you very much. As I said, my name is Che Yusuf. Please subscribe and share with other guys. Thank you.